He waited with a bottle in one hand and a hammer in the other, and when it was time, he packed the body into a sack and disappeared. His name was Vasili Komarov, but Moscow knew him only as the Packer. He was born in 1877 in the poverty-ridden Vitebsk province of the Russian Empire. His birth name, Vasily Petrov. A childhood of beatings, alcohol, and hunger. No innocence, no love, just survival. He joined the army in search of meaning, of order, but it gave him nothing. After deserting, he ended up in prison again and again. Then came 1917, the revolution, a new world, a new identity. He changed his name to Vasili Komarov and moved to Moscow with his wife, Sophia. But he didn't become a new man. He became something worse. Moscow in the early 1920s was chaos, dressed in communist flags. The new economic policy allowed for limited capitalism, trade, movement, confusion. Komarov was a horse-drawn carriage driver, but he used that job to hunt.
On March 13, 1921, he claimed his first confirmed victim. A man visited his apartment, interested in buying a horse. Komarov offered him a drink. Then, one sharp blow with a hammer, and the man dropped dead. What followed was simple and horrifying. The body was packed into a sack, the sack tied tightly and neatly, placed in his carriage, dumped into ruins, alleys, or the river at night. No witnesses, no evidence, no panic. Yet, Komarov turned killing into a system, a business. Here was his model. He placed ads in newspapers, selling horse or buying carriage. The victim arrived at his apartment. They drank. He waited. Then came the hammer or the rope. The corpse was packed meticulously into a sack. He used oats to cushion the body, making the sack more stable in transport. Detectives would later call his technique professional. He confessed to 33 murders. Authorities confirmed 29. Some believe it was far more. He killed quickly, sometimes in under 30 minutes. Then back to work, back to life. Even his wife, Sophia, helped at times, serving drinks, distracting victims. Bodies started showing up around Zamoskvorecha, tightly bound in sacks, dumped in ruins or under floorboards. Inside one sack, oats, blood, and a baby's cloth diaper. That diaper changed everything. Investigators realized their suspect had a newborn and worked with oats. That narrowed the list to just a few suspects. They watched the carriage drivers. Komarov stood out, quiet, aloof, not fighting for customers like the others. He had a newborn. His clothes smelled faintly of grain. On May 17, 1923, police came for him. He jumped from a second-story window and vanished. The next day, they found him in a shed outside Moscow, hiding. I did it quickly. A drink, a blow, a sack. That's it. I needed money. I lived like everyone else. I just knew how to take what I wanted. He spoke without panic. No remorse, no fear. During interrogations, he revealed everything. The exact method, the routine. He even mocked the police. You should have caught me earlier. I would have killed 60. He smiled while recounting his crimes. Sophia was arrested too. She claimed she only helped out of fear. But the truth was she cooked the meals. She knew the smell of death. Secrets not found in the official files. Neighbors said they sometimes heard dull, heavy thuds coming from Komarov's room, but dismissed them as hammering or carpentry. One loud knock, then silence, and then nothing. We thought he was fixing his sleigh or working on wood. Only later did we realize it was the sound of death. One officer claimed that before Komarov's arrest, he would sometimes be heard talking to someone quietly in his room, even when alone. We thought he had visitors, but later we found out he was speaking to the corpses, whispering, calm, like they were still alive.
Unofficial reports from locals claim that one victim might have been a teenage boy, around 14 or 15 years old, possibly a stable helper or delivery assistant. Komarov reportedly didn't realize the boy was so young until it was too late, and killed him anyway, just like the others. Officers said that when they finally entered Komarov's apartment after his arrest, the air felt alive, thick, humid, pulsing with rot. It was like the walls had soaked in the death. The smell, the silence, the shadows. It felt like a tomb, but worse, because someone lived there. Some residents claimed they heard muffled crying at night from Komarov's room, but it didn't sound like a baby. It sounded like a grown man trying to scream through a pillow. We thought maybe he was fighting with his wife. Now, I wonder if that was someone dying. A street cleaner once testified that he saw Komarov carrying a sack that seemed to twitch. I thought it was a pig or something. He joked, said it was a stubborn horse that needed to cool off in a sack. We laughed, and now I can't sleep at night. What if that person was still alive inside? One interrogator shared that Komarov confessed something bone-chilling. Before every blow, I prayed. Just a few words. Lord, forgive me. I need to live. And then I struck.
In June 1923, the trial began. It was the first time the Soviet courts faced a true serial killer. Psychiatrists found him sane, but severely alcoholic and antisocial. He understood right and wrong, and chose wrong every time. The verdict? Death by firing squad, for both him and Sophia. On June 18, 1923, they were executed. He did not cry. He did not confess to God. He simply disappeared. Komarov was not a madman in rags. He was cold, calculating, a killer with a timetable. He inspired fear and fascination. Writers like Mikhail Bulgakov referenced his case. Psychiatrists studied his behavior. Law students memorized his name. The people of Moscow whispered, "Don't trust quiet men with clean boots." He became the face of evil in a new country trying to define good. Vasili Komarov didn't just kill people. He killed trust. He killed routine. He turned a handshake into a death sentence. Was he a monster, a product of war and poverty, or something worse, a man who enjoyed what he did? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe, because next time, it only gets darker.